Hello everyone, Pam DuBois, Dream Real Estate TV. I am so excited to have with me some top realtors and brokers today with me. We're going to sit here and chit chat about real estate, what's going on with their real estate business, what's going on with real estate in general, and they are from different areas they're going to share with us. So Ben, first, why don't you share with us what's going on with your business and real estate in general?
Busy, very busy, which is a good thing. Last two listings I put on, one of them actually had over 100 calls on. It was a townhouse in short sale, actually, in Maryland. The other one went under contract literally same day. It was a bigger, actually a 7-figure short sale. So yeah, market's crazy. Crazy in a good way. I have a big commercial listing in Tyson's Corner that could be a whole show in itself. Got that under contract. That's the biggest deal I've ever done. Still doing great with things with multifamily market's red hot too. It's just a good time to be buying if you can if you can find deals.
All right. Right. Okay. Did you get multiple offers on the short sale? That was the multi-million-dollar deal you were talking about?
Yeah, the one, there's a townhouse in Maryland. Actually, I had over 100, sorry, my phone was dying. Had over 100 people inquire about it. Some of them actually really nasty about it too. It's hard to keep up, hard to return on the phone calls. I was like, I'm doing my best. Yeah, the other one was a large home in Clifton, Virginia. I'm still, even as it's been under contract for about 2 months, and even as of last week, I have 7 people call about putting in a backup offer, and it's a 7-figure short sale. There's a big deal in Tyson's it's just a monster. It's actually a $30 million plus deal. And multifamily market, we're under contract on one, and a lot of intent on 2, and looking at several others. It's a great time to be in real estate. That's just unless you if you know what you're doing, it's a great time to be in real estate.
Wow, that's great. Wanda, why don't you guys, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and what areas you're in, that would be great.
Okay, hi, I'm Wanda Rogers, and I am in both residential and commercial real estate. I work for my husband, he's the broker, although I'm the boss, Realty Transaction Services in Bowie, Maryland. We've been in the business for about 25, 30 years. We've had our own brokerage a little bit over 20 years, and it has been really a truly historical time when it comes to real estate and listings and the challenges that come along with it. So it's just my pleasure to be here. In regard to the market itself, we find that listings disappear very quickly, both from the listing side and representing buyers. It has been truly a challenge getting in bids on homes that are successful. It really has been very interesting, particularly with buyers paying all their closing costs as well as foregoing home inspections, which is amazing to me. They have the inspections, but they don't hold the sellers responsible for fixing anything.
Right.
And then with that, it gets into the pipeline of the lender, and the lenders must be overwhelmed because of the interest rates being so low. And on my last several deals, I have run into issues with lenders and our ability to close when they say we can close. And then asking for a lot of additional information. And then I've seen activity on the market, particularly in residential, where individuals are putting contracts on houses, and maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks later, you see the house back on the market. I've seen a lot of that. With commercial has been, it was quiet, particularly around the holidays, the holiday time with the pandemic and the holidays. But as soon as we got into February, with our commercial listings, just a lot of activity. So that's what's been going on with us in general here in Prince George's County.
Wow. Why do you think that the homes are going back on the market after, a month or so? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm looking at the lenders. I believe the lenders, particularly the loan officers, are getting them in there and doing preliminary stuff. And then what was happening is individuals were losing their jobs or being laid off because of the pandemic.
Mm.
I think that was the major issue that I saw going on. The pandemic actually had impacted people's ability to follow through on their commitments to buy
Oh, okay. Okay.
and
Yeah.
sell and sell.
Yeah. It's definitely a crazy market. Crystal, how about you? Introduce yourself. Tell us what area you're from.
Yes, hi, I'm Crystal Frederick with AKS Property from here in Charlotte, North Carolina. The place to be, we call it. Here in our area, the buyers in our markets are quickly purchasing homes. It seems like the homes are not staying on the market over 24 days. We do run into the multiple offers here. It has been a little tough for the buyers. It is a seller market here, you know.
Yeah.
The seller, you know, naming their prices. I had a few agents that stated that some offers were made at least $20,000 over or more, you know, on a particular offer. I still have buyers that by the time we place an offer in, sometimes the agent will call back and say, Crystal, we have this, that, and other. I mean, it's amazing here. It's a steady increase.
Yeah.
We have few homes on the market, and that's what's causing it. You know, the inventory here has reached its critical level. You know.
Yeah, it's incredible. Julie, did we lose you? I think we might have lost Julie somewhere in there. There is some feedback. Ben, I don't know. I guess it's your phone. If you want to put it on mute, I guess while we're talking, then, just turn it back on when you're ready to talk. That would be great. So I have a question for you guys as we're going through all of this. What advice would you give to a buyer out there that is actually thinking about coming into the spring market and buying a home right now? What would your advice be to that buyer?
As I said to one of my buyers who is already in the market, I said, expect that you may end up paying more, you know, for the home. You know, make sure as we look at it, it's something that you really want. You know, because I don't want my buyer to have buyer's remorse afterwards, just trying to race to get the house. You know, because there's so many people out there, and you don't ever want that. You know, because once they have it, it's their home. You know, and so you want them to actually take their time and still look. Don't be in a rush. You know, it will happen. You know, I do believe that eventually they can get the house that they select. I was just told by a buyer that there was over 30 offers on the home. They were looking quite some time, but end up they won, even over investors that offered more. So it can happen. You know, things can happen.
Right, right. Hey, Chuck, welcome. We missed you. Thanks for coming on.
I had a funeral I almost forgot about, so it wasn't my own, though, so don't be concerned.
Oh, no, no. Did you say you had a funeral?
Wow.
Yes, and it ran longer than I thought.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Chuck Teets, everyone. Our subject right now is what advice would you give a buyer if they're thinking about buying in the spring market right now to winning offer?
So I would actually, you know, I've had buyers who have told to wait until the interest rates come up a little bit and the market gets a little bit more loose, where they don't have to pay all their closing costs.
Right.
If they're adamant, I tell them just be prepared. You're going to use all your savings just to get in the house with your closing. And everything is just going to be extremely expensive. So my recommendation is if you can wait, just wait it out into the fall as we get through the pandemic, and it should loosen up a bit, and they won't have to spend all of their savings just trying to get into the house.
That's true.
Right. Yeah, because it's really so tough with buyers right now. They're having to give up pretty much everything, you know, including their home inspections and things like that.
Yes.
Any other thoughts from anybody else? Chuck, you want to chime in?
Yeah, well, it's just, you know, if the rates were to go up even 1%, it would make it even more advantageous to pay more now and go ahead and buy, especially if you need to buy. And what will go
Yeah.
up will come down a little bit, but it will go up again. So if you're in that situation where you need to buy, then I'm glad to help them buy, because at the end of the day, they're buying a payment, and that payment is lower as long as the interest rates are here, and they're artificially low. I come from a time, I'm older, when we had 17% interest rates. The only way you could sell a house was the seller took back a second trust.
Mhm.
So it would average the rate down, and it was still, the second trust might be at 10%. And so you'd still end up with an average rate of double digits.
Right.
So that being said, interest rates could skyrocket. And if that happens, yeah, prices will fall somewhat, but not enough to make up the difference. So it's okay to overpay right now with the great interest rate. That's my philosophy.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think, Ben? Any ideas as far as that is concerned? You've got that one that you said you had over 100 phone calls, which is amazing in itself. I don't know how you would actually even return all those phone calls.
I couldn't, and that's what. Yeah, I get a bunch of pissy emails and texts about it, and I was like, I'm slammed. People call in the middle of the day. I'm driving. They're asking about the listing, and then it was hard to keep up. My two big things. I love what Wanda said. I think setting the buyer's expectations so they know what they're getting into. If it's a new buyer says, "Hey, I want to buy a townhouse for $200,000." Hey, you're probably going to actually get a $150,000 townhouse, or you end up paying,
Right.
20, 30, 40 more than you otherwise would, just so they know what they're getting into.
Right.
I think that's key. And the other thing, maybe you guys do too. I work with a lot of investors, and they have a lot of off-market properties.
Okay.
So any buyer that approaches me now, hey, if you don't mind getting your hands dirty, doing a little fix-up, it may not be your dream house, but again, you might get a deal on a house. You're not going to end up, bidding against Pam and Wanda and Joe and Mike and everybody, and overpaying. You may get stuck with skipping on a home inspection and end up with a $20,000, $30,000 repair. So anything you can get off market. I would also tell the buyers, there's a lot of good tricks actually. If you find a neighborhood you like, there's nothing stopping you from printing out 100 flyers. Hey, I'm Joe and Sally. We're looking to move into the neighborhood. We have kids, pets, whatever it is. We love your house. You might get lucky and find somebody
That's right.
is thinking about buying. You might get lucky there. Also think rentals are a great place to look. A lot of people, this is actually a really good tip. A lot of people who rent their homes actually had never had any intention of being landlords. It could have been a result of a divorce, of financing, some kind of issue. You find a rental that you like. Hey, I'm Ben Benita. I'd love to buy your home. I'm working with a wonderful agent named Wanda or Pam, whoever, and that's a good way to, kind of backdoor into the stuff that's listed, as we all know, in the MLS. Yeah, you're going to get crushed. You're going to get in bidding wars. But, the We Buy Houses guys, I think, are a great resource if you don't want to get your hands dirty. Rentals, again, there's a lot of ways to find out who owns the house. Send them a letter, give them a phone call, connect with them on Facebook, LinkedIn. Hey, if and when you guys decide to sell your home and, in this neighborhood, give me a call. I'd love to buy it. And it's another good way, I think, to avoid the bidding wars and, in my opinion, overpaying or waiving some of those contingencies that can come back and I've seen it so many times. They bite you in the butt. I mean, they're just, the home inspections are good, but, a lot of people said are waiving the home inspection. You may miss something that the seller forgot to mention, and it ends up being a, $10, $20, $30, $40,000 repair that, you literally can't afford, especially if you've already overpaid for the house. So
Right.
you got to be careful.
Right. Good. Julie, are you still there? We lost Julie. Okay, question for you guys as far as home inspection. You've got a first-time home buyer, right, that waives their home inspection. What are your thoughts about doing a post-home inspection, let's say, after you've moved into the property a month later? What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
I would do it.
oh, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say that I just consciously cannot allow someone to purchase a home and not do a home inspection. So here in Maryland, the contract does allow you to step away if you find material defects in the property. I don't know what value a post-home inspection would be, but I always, I mean, to me, it's just absolutely critical to know what you're getting into, and then have the, have the leeway to say, no, the roof is really bad. I don't want to put that kind of money in it, and step away.
Right, right. Yeah, I find that I was sitting there thinking, like, if you did post a home inspection, what happens when something comes up, when stuff comes up, if they actually did waive their pre-inspection just so they can actually get the property, and then they do a post-inspection and then find out all these things that are, wrong with the property, that there are issues with the property. It's like, okay, now what, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crazy thought to even think about that. What if there's latent defect or something like that? So, I'm not sure if that's a way to actually even do something, doing it later after. I mean, sure, the buyer's going to want to find out what, have an inspection and what is going on with the property, or what, if they do a post inspection after they bought the property. But then also think about it, if something comes up and it's major, how are they going to feel? How are they going to deal with it when they've only been in the property for a month, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm about like Pam. I mean, Pam, I'm like Wanda. I totally agree with her. That's how I operate. I just don't feel comfortable myself morally seeing a buyer purchase a home without having that inspection. I mean, I know they can waive their rights, but I really always say, I really encourage it. I really do. I think it's placing the buyer in a very awkward position of kind of like desperation. I just think that sometimes you just don't know. You can have this young couple, older couple, whichever, get these homes, and this cost can, be detrimental. That's all. I just don't think I don't like, that. I don't.
right, right. And I agree with you. I think what's happening is basically a lot of the first time home buyers are just waiving their home inspections or waiving their contingencies just so they can get in this property, right?
Right.
Seems like we're back
Yeah.
into 2003, 2004, that market all over again with all the craziness that we had.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then it went up so fast, and guess what? It came back down. Not to be, but if you're gonna buy right now, my story, it's just like you're gonna hold on to it for a while. Yeah, just go ahead and do it. But yeah, for a first-time home buyer to waive an inspection, I don't know. That's just to me, that's a tough one.
Right.
To win the offer. Yeah. What do you think, Ben?
I would, I mean, you can put in a contract, it's just for informational purposes, but I personally, like you guys said, would never recommend. I'd never personally do it. Again, you just want to know. We've all been around the block and seen things, and better to know ahead of time. And that $300, $400, $500 home inspection may save you $30,000, $40,000, and that's just that's just a good investment. And I might even also suggest too, if they're leaning that way, like just getting a new, brand new home, and you might have to wait 6, 8, 10, 12 months for it to be finished, but you're going to be locked into your price. Actually, how I did my first investment property. That new home, it's $200,000 now that you locked in. It's not going to be done for 8 more months. They might be selling for $210,000, $220,000, $230,000 in 6, 8, 10 months, especially where the market's going. The builder's definitely going to, do everything right. A lot of times they'll give you home inspections, all that stuff.
Right.
Obviously, you definitely get to do walkthroughs. So if you're the buyer and you can afford to wait 6, 8, 10 months, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, that just popped in my head. That's probably a great way to go. Because again, by the time you close, you're probably sitting on some equity, and a brand new home. There certainly could be some hiccups. You're not going to shouldn't have a roof issue or anything like that. If you do, you call the builder and say, hey, this house is brand new. You have to come over and fix this.
Right. One of the points that you brought up earlier, which was actually a good point, is if the buyer has a neighborhood that they really are in love with and they want to be in that neighborhood, is to send letters out. And we'll have to talk more on that conversation. I think that's a great idea, just sending letters out and ask the homeowners, I guess, basically, have you been thinking about selling, right?
Oh yeah. And even driving through, if you're brave, you can knock on doors or get out and even walk around the neighborhood. You might see somebody walking their dog or going for a walk, and literally just ask them, hey, I love this neighborhood. I've been looking here for 2 weeks or 2 months. Do you know anybody thinking about selling? If so, here's my name and number. Like I said, you just never know. I mean, a lot of people are too shy to do that, but it may save you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, and all kinds of headaches. And if you get direct to the seller and have a no BS conversation with them about, selling, it never hurts to ask. I learned that as I got older. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah. One of the things that I actually saw also happening is like the coming soons that's on the market. It's like before it even like the date it's supposed to hit the market, it's not hitting the market on that coming soon date. It just goes on to contract. So they have to put it, I guess, active and then just basically put it on under contract right away. But I saw that, with a few properties, basically it was under contract. I mean, in coming soon, and then it was under contract. You know? So it's just, very busy right now. The other thought, like right now, what advice would you have for sellers that's actually thinking about putting their homes on the market? Let's talk about that.
Ooh, great time to sell, but they can take it in the shorts on the other side when they buy. My parents are in that situation. They've been talking for a while about selling. My dad's like, we're going to make all this money. And I'm like, you do great, but you're going to, eat it on the other end. So,
Hey, sell now, even if you have to rent. That's what I tell them. Sell now and don't worry about fixing up the thing. I think timing trumps everything. Get it done now, not 2 or 3 months from now, because I have no crystal ball.
Yeah, Chuck, for some reason. I don't know why.
That's because I had to say goodbye to some people at the funeral, so I kind of took my video off.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. Like you were saying, it's a great time to sell right now. Maybe you'll, like Chuck was saying, basically you're going to make a lot of money here, and maybe even if you have to rent and they're, giving us more inventory in the market, right? That's what we need now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, don't worry about maybe having to do major repairs and things like that, because a lot of times sellers, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to, depending on what it is, what are your guys' thoughts on that? What do you think about that as far as sellers doing work on property? Like what kind of work, just other than the regular cosmetic things that you would normally do?
I think that if the seller know they have a issue, a major issue, they need to handle that. I still think we got ethics here. I still think they should handle it or disclose it if they selling it as is. And then I think everything be okay at that point.
Right. So still do. Any other information you guys want to share with us? Chuck, we haven't seen you. Anything you want to share about what's going on with your market and what you're currently doing?
Well, one of the, I could tell a lot of stories, but probably the biggest one that I've had recently was we helped a buyer that we were losing and we were offering 20 to 50,000 more on properties, and we weren't getting them. Mm-hmm. And we found one that probably would have sold for 775 to 8 about a year ago in Burke, and they were asking 8 1/4. We just went in and offered 100,000 more and shut everybody down to get it. And I know that seems a little bit extreme, but she needed to buy a home, and at the great interest rate that there is, if she waited and went up 1%, she'd have the same payment a year from now, even if she got it at 800. So that's what it takes sometimes. And and I will not work with buyers that will not take my advice right now. And they have to use my lender or a lender that I know, because I've lost too many deals because they don't listen, and it just takes up too much time. And if they don't trust me on the lender part, they're not going to trust me on anything else. So I don't work.
So Chuck, a question for you. How'd you get an appraisal at $100,000 more than what it was listed for?
Well, first off, we weren't concerned about the appraisal because we were putting down a 400 and some thousand. But would you believe it appraised at 945, 20,000 more than what we paid? Yes.
Wow.
The appraisals are actually coming in reflecting the market.
Wow.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted. Quite frankly, I didn't think it was going to appraise. But it was just unbelievable. We just closed on it yesterday, by the way.
Wow. And you're over in Virginia? You're in Virginia?
I'm in Northern Virginia. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And this property was in Burke.
Yeah, we're having challenges over here in Prince George's County, Maryland, in that it's almost like a redlining as far as getting the appraised value, particularly on your homes that are more high in price. I know that I had a listing last year that we put out at I think it's 900,000, and the first appraisal that came in with the first buyers came in at 720,000, and it's hard to find comps in Prince George's County, even though the homes are more expensive and you have more property. It almost seems like it's a redlining. They will not go to, they being the appraisers, won't go to properties that will help get you that higher amount. And that was a challenge for us. So the buyers walked away because COVID started, fortunately, but we were able the second go round to get a $900,000 appraisal. But that was a challenge. I mean, I had to really, talk to well, I wasn't really talking to the appraiser, but I made sure the appraiser had my comps as well, so that we could appraise. Because that 2-mile limit range for your comps, we had to go further than 2 miles because we have a lot of building going on here in Prince George's County, particularly in the Bowie, Mitchellville area and Upper Marlboro. But the appraisers weren't paying attention to it. So anyway, we got,
Well,
but it's a
so we have had luck getting appraisers to really consider the fact that there's so many multiple offers and even cash offers that they have been recognizing that and appraising up. But we did have one which was a VA appraisal, and they would not go over because they did not want to set the standard for the highest property sold in the community. So they would only go as high as and this is their words, the highest property sold. So we needed a little bit more. We didn't get it, but we negotiated that price, and it hasn't closed yet, but it should.
Wow, it's very interesting to find out and see what's going on in different markets, different areas right now. So it's really, even though Wanda, you've got the multiple offers and things like that, there are appraisal issues still. And then there are other areas where they don't really, it's not happening there. I've even heard that some lenders, if you put in a large down payment, they're not even actually doing an appraisal.
Wow.
Julie, welcome back. Let's hear from you. We haven't heard from you. Good to see you. You're on mute.
Yes, you're right. I was on mute. So basically, I haven't heard most of what you guys were saying. And so I hope I don't say something that you all have already talked about. But I'm a real estate broker, and I have property, I guess, deals going on DC, Maryland, Baltimore City, like all over the place. And they're in all kinds of fields, from like, one of them's a lease, which is, you would think would be real simple, but doesn't seem to be, to multifamily, to single family, to condo, like everything you could imagine is all going on. And they're all calling me and texting me at the same time, which is why I keep muting it. And I'm like, I know. But basically everything, the little bit that I heard, yes, it's exactly what I'm experiencing. And I did talk to the lender that I use frequently about what Pam was just saying about not getting an appraisal. And she was telling me that she said she had heard exactly what Pam was saying. If you're getting a conventional loan and you put 20% down, hold on, let me remember exactly what she was saying, that in this market, if you're putting 20% down, they're not even doing an appraisal. They know that it's already going to go through. But if you're putting any less than 20%, they absolutely are going to do an appraisal. Of course, if it's VA or FHA or whatever, they're definitely going to do those because they have to. But I had never heard that. And she was like, apparently they've been doing it for years, but it just wasn't talked about. I mean, that's what she was telling me. And she said it's a lot less common now because very few people are putting 20% down. With the interest rates, they're saving their cash, they're keeping it, and they're putting as little down as possible. So the appraisals are done.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That happened in my daughter's case. She just bought a house and she's put 20% down. They didn't do an appraisal. They
Yeah.
did not do an appraisal.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's amazing. This has been great, you guys. Any additional information you want to share about what's going on with your market? Julie, you said Baltimore City, Baltimore County?
City.
City, same thing?
Multifamily, single family, townhouses. I mean, just so it's the market is, you wouldn't necessarily, I mean, Baltimore's been very, you know, it's been, I mean, it's been hot for a while, but the prices are going absolutely crazy. And houses that might have been 75,000, which, you know, like if you work in the DC metropolitan area, you're like $75,000. That's, you know, like nothing. It's a piece of, maybe not even a piece of land, but there are houses up there that are decent houses that were selling for that, say 2 years ago, and now they're going for 275,000. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
It is actually a crazy
So,
market
yeah.
right now.
So I've got some people that I'm working with up there, and yeah, it's crazy.
So one of the things, let's share, you guys, if you have a buyer or a seller that's currently looking for property, because we are going to market this video out there to the public, everybody see the video. Do you have a buyer or a seller that's looking for properties? I mean, a seller that's thinking about selling in a certain area, a buyer that's looking for a property in a certain area. If you want to information so it gets out there, and you know, we'll share your contact information at the end also, so you have that, you know, contact that'll come directly to you. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Like, you know, if you have a buyer that's looking, let's say, Wanda, if you have a buyer that's looking in the New Carrollton area, for instance, what they're looking for, and then also just share your contact information so we have your contact information.
Well, and I'll chime in here. I missed the beginning of this, so if there's other Northern Virginia realtors on there, excuse me. But if you want to send me referrals or whatever, you're out of the area, I'll give you 40%. So, and I'll be glad to help your buyers. We take good care of them, and we don't just, we do have a lot of seniors we work with, because we refer senior attorneys and healthcare facilities and mental facilities that can help them with Alzheimer's. So, you know, if you have that type of client, we're really good at helping them. We have all the resources for them.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else? Julie, did you have a buyer that's looking at a certain area that you were looking for? No?
Well, I have a buyer that's looking for a property that I'm not sure really exists. And I say that because he's an unusual situation. He, you know, doesn't have a W-2. He doesn't have regular income. He's self-employed, and he's having to get financing out of the normal market. So here's all these amazing interest rates. He's not eligible. And he's found someone that'll give him a loan, but he's going to have to put like 25% down and pay 7 to 8% interest, because he just doesn't meet the criteria of, you know, the standard borrower. And so he's looking for something in Montgomery County or Prince George's County, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, not over 350,000, which, you know, it's just like, I mean, what he's looking for, and he wants a single family home with a yard, room to park his trucks. You know,
Actually start looking in Kansas, Julie?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or, you know, at least not anywhere near the DC metropolitan area. But anyway, that's one of my ones that I'm having real difficulty with. I've been working with him doing construction projects for probably 10 years, and he's been living in this little apartment. So he's really ready to buy and just can't find anything that he can afford.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately.
People like that part.
Yeah.
Hey, do one side note. Chuck, do you have a son named Danny Teets by chance?
No, there is, I have a nephew. His name is Danny Teets. And last I heard, he's out in well, west, like Warrenton or further west than that. Does that ring a bell? His father
probably is a
was
total side.
urban.
Just a total side note. I grew up, my name's Ben Benita, playing soccer out here in Gainesville, Haymarket, with a guy named Danny Teets. I haven't seen him for, God, probably 40 years. It's just odd. I just curious if you know him.
Yep. I think that's him. That's it.
Gotta be the same guy. I have no idea what his dad's name was. Just small world.
Small world. Right?
I don't have any. Gotcha. I don't have any specific buyers or sellers. If you guys come across any multifamily properties, 10 units or bigger, within a 4-hour drive of the DC Beltway, please call me. I've got money. I've got a syndication. I've got a bunch of buyers looking for multifamily stuff. So anything like that. Residential, I don't have any specific buyers or sellers, but if I get something, I'll certainly let you guys know. Multifamily stuff, definitely let me know. There's lots of cash, a whole bunch of people looking. So,
hey, I have a manufactured home I can't help the people with because the community charges $12,000, but he'll sell this thing for $36,000. Manufactured home, all set up and everything, in a nice community, Chantilly. If someone wants, to own something and really can't get something for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
There we go, Julie.
What's that?
That's right.
I said, there goes Julie. Julie's got this client that's looking for, something she can't find him. Perfect.
Well, if he wants to move to Chantilly, he can have this 2-bedroom, and it's a nice condition.
I do have also, I have a commercial buyer that's looking for a minimum of 2 acres and a pole barn or some type of structure on the land. They have a business where they trap pests like, raccoons and stuff, and they have a small fleet of trucks. So they want a place where their employees can meet as well as where they can park their trucks. It's not, and they're looking for wooded areas, and they're not looking to spend any more than $900,000. They're kind of looking in southern Prince George's County because they have a company location over in Northern Virginia, and they have some things going up north here in Maryland, but they were looking to have a location here in Prince George's County, somewhere southern. But I'm quite sure if a good deal came up, they would definitely entertain it. I didn't even know what a pole barn was until they asked for one. So anyway, I do have that one. That's a hard one for me.
Yeah. You guys want to share your contact information, Wanda?
Sure. Wanda Rogers, Realty Transaction Services, 1522 Pointer Ridge Place, Suite I in Bowie, Maryland, 301-218-6336. And I can be emailed at wjrogers, ROGERS 37@gmail.com.
Yeah. Crystal?
Yes, I do mostly a lot of referrals out. I do have a buyer in New Jersey that actually looking for a place about 650 single family. I have a buyer that also looking for a place in Atlanta. About well, she didn't actually say, but I guess she was in that range from 4 to 8, kind of that range. But she's looking for a 5-bedroom. And then here, like I say, in this area, the surrounding counties are a little tight right now. So I have buyers that been just riding back and forth, but we haven't landed anything as of yet. But if you guys want the referral, that's great. If I have any other buyers come, I will definitely refer them out to you all once I have your information. I'm Crystal Frederick, AKS Property. You can email me at crystalfyourrealtor@gmail.com or call me at 980-621-9194. 980-621-9194. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Julie? You're on mute again.
You're right. I was.
Sorry.
Okay, Julia Yale, Yale Realty. You can email me at julia.yalerealty@gmail.com. And the phone number is 202-550-5521.
Chuck, I think, did you give your information, Chuck?
Okay, I'm Chuck Teets. You can find me on the internet at Chuck and Olga Realtors, 703-898-8930, 703-898-8930.
Okay. And how about you, Ben?
Oh yeah, my name's Ben Benita. I'm with Goldston Real Estate. My cell number, you can call or text me, is 703-926-1533. Ben@goldstonrealestate.com is my email address. Any type of investment property, short sales, foreclosures. I know a ton about that stuff. I have access to a whole lot of off-market properties that need work. And any type of investment property, multifamily ideally. Give me a call if you have questions, want a partner, want a referral. I can help you buy or sell multifamily. I have a huge database of people looking for those. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I wanted to say all of you guys that's on here, actually, Wanda, your husband's due to do video marketing with me with his commercial business soon, but all of you other guys have done real estate and done video marketing with me, done the video. Chuck was my first person that actually did a video with me in the studio. I don't know how long ago that was. That was quite a while ago, right? Before COVID.
Yeah, well before COVID. It's
Good old days.
been a couple of years.
It's been a couple years, and here we are again, and I appreciate you guys. It's just great to see you and spend time with you, and I will definitely spread the word. You're great realtors, and you're awesome, and just remember, our marketing and the way we market currently right now has changed, so get yourself online, get yourself noticed, be the community influencer you need to be. You guys are all doing that right now. I give you thanks, and I just am grateful for you, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, Pam.
Bye.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye. You too.
Thanks.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. You stayed on.